nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome, everybody. First item up will be to approve the meeting agenda. We've got a couple changes from the previous one sent out. We have approved the resignation of Sean Gravel, the paraprofessional. That will be in the consent items. Business items, we have a name that was in A. It'll move to B. And that'll be Denise Evanson. Other than that, any other changes or additions to the agenda?
Make a motion to approve the agenda with the said changes.
I'll second.
Motion by Ann, second by Mike. Any discussion on the agenda? No further discussion on the agenda. All those in favor of approving the agenda signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same. Agenda carries. Opportunity for visitors to address the board. Visitors may not discuss or share any private or personal data at a school board meeting. Any student, program, or personnel concerns must be brought to the appropriate building administrator to be resolved. Do you have any visitors to address the board? Okay. We'll move on to the consent items. Item A, approve board meeting minutes of the meeting on March 18th, 2019. Item B, financial claims, March bills. Item C, treasurer's report. Item D, accept donations. Special Olympics in memory of Faith Westby, $95. From Denise and Ellen Johnson, Chris and Tori Olson, Jeff and Rhonda Ellingson. To SAD, Minnesota National Bank, Gene Machine, $135. To ISD 548 Pelican Rapids Press, $25. To ISD 548 Bell Bank / Custom Cards, $20. To the class of '79 scholarship, Lori Johnson, $100. Richard Groth, $50. Alicia Mickelson, $20. Julie Oman, $25. To Roots Essentia Health, $200. To Arnie Scholarship. Arnie Scholarship. Lake Country Cruisers, $500. Scholarships in memory of Larry Albright, Anonymous, $20. Viking Elementary for Math Seed subscription, Shadow Seed and Ag Services, $905. To scholarships, Lake Region Electrical Co-op, $500. To ISD 548 TV production class, National Academy of Television, $1,800. Acknowledge receipt of the notice of desire to negotiate from the Pelican Rapids Education Association. Item F, personnel. Approve the resignation of Len Thompson as high school custodian. Hire Jenna Nava as full-time high school custodian. Hire Byron Cook as high school custodian pending completion of background check. Approve the resignation of Sean Gravel as paraprofessional effective April 15th, 2019. Approve the resignation of Robert Kohler as paraprofessional effective April 26th, 2019. Approve the resignation of Avery Beck as head girls soccer coach and assistant dance coach. And approve a medical leave for David Haugen from April 17th through May 24th. Hire Deb Bruns as long-term sub for David Haugen. Anything to note on there? I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent items.
I'll make the motion.
A motion by Mike, do we have a second?
I second.
Second by Brenda. Any discussion on the consent items? No further discussion?
Mr. Chairperson,
Yes.
wasn't there an addition to the consent items? What was the addition? The minutes or the agenda that we approved?
Yes, the resignation of Sean Gravel.
Oh,
It's in,
it's in the actual, I got you.
Yes.
put in the one
I
previously.
see, all right, thank you.
Any further discussion? Further discussion, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same. Consent items carried. Business items, approve the resolution relating to the termination and non-renewal of the teaching contract of the following probationary and part-time teachers: Joshua Fuller, Caitlin Gano, Hannah Johnston, Chelsea Van Raden, Abigail Jurick, Victoria Stefanowitz, and Don Finn. And do we have a resolution, or do we need to? I have to read this for each one.
You just have the teacher names, so now you just need to say this.
Okay. I'll read the resolution. A resolution relating to the termination and non-renewal of teaching contract of the said names at a probationary teacher. Whereas the said names is a probationary teacher in Independent School District 548, be it resolved by the Board of Independent School District 548, pursuant to Minnesota Statute 122A.40 subdivision 5, that a teaching contract of said employee, a probationary teacher in Independent School District 548, is hereby terminated at the close of the current 2018-2019 school year. Be it further resolved that written notices be sent to said teacher regarding termination and non-renewal of said employee's contract as provided by law, and that said notice shall be substantially the following form. And it's got a letter. Read that too, or just the title?
Just so you know.
I'll move to approve the action necessary to allow the board to execute the resolution relating to the termination and non-renewal of the teaching contract with regard to Joshua Fuller, Caitlin Gano, Hannah Johnston, Chelsea Van Raden, Abigail Jurick, Victoria Stefanovich, and Don Finn.
Motion by Greg, do we have a second? Second by Mike. Any discussion before we go to the resolution? We'll go by roll call. Brittany, how do you resolve?
Yes.
Ann?
Yes.
Yes. Mike?
Yes.
Greg?
Yes.
Yes.
Resolution carries. Approve the resolution proposing to place the following teachers on unrequested leave of absence: Colleen Gould, 0.5, Denise Evanson, 0.46. And I will read the resolution. Be it resolved by the School Board of Independent School District 548 as follows: it is proposed that said instructor, a teacher of said school district, be placed on unrequested leave of absence, 0.5 and 0.46, without pay or fringe benefits effective at the end of the 2018-2019 school year on June 30th, 2019, pursuant to Minnesota Statute 122A.40 subdivision 11. That said proposed placement on unrequested leave of absence is not the result of implementation of an education school district agreement. A written notice be sent to said teacher regarding the proposed placement on unrequested leave of absence, 0.5 and 0.46, without pay or fringe benefits as provided by law. And said notice shall include a date for hearing if requested and be in substantially the following form. And there's a letter attached.
I'll move to to approve the resolution proposing to place the following teachers on unrequested leave of absence, specifically Colleen Gould and Denise Evanson. And for the board's action to allow the clerk to proceed with executing the notice given to both Colleen Gould and Denise Evanson.
Motion by Greg, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Ann. Any discussion? So your roll call vote also. Brittany, how do you resolve?
Yes.
Ann?
Yes.
Yes. Mike? Greg?
Yes.
Brenda?
Yes.
Resolution carries. Item C, approve the second reading of the following policies. 519, interviews of students by outside agencies. 520, student surveys. 526, hazing prohibited. 529, staff notification of violent behavior by students. 530, immunization requirements. 532, use of peace officers and crisis teams to remove students with IEPs from school grounds.
There are no changes from the first read.
I move to approve the second reading of the following policies that were just outlined by Chairperson John Carter. 519, 520, 526, 529, 530, and 532.
Motion by Greg, do we have a second?
I second.
Second by Brenda. Any discussion? Randy said there are no changes to that. No further discussion, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same. Motion carries. Item D, approve first reading of the following policies. 601, school district curriculum and instructional goals. 602, organization of school calendar and school day. 610, field trips. 614, school district testing plan and procedure. 615, testing accommodation, modifications and exemption for IEPs. Section 504, plans and LEP students. 619, staff development, core standards. And 624, online or learning options.
So the 600s are the policies that oversee curriculum, instruction, and assessment and accountability for the system. Our 600 policies had not been reviewed since 2005, so you see them as a first read because there are significant changes. I am not going to highlight all of the significant changes that are out there. I suggest you as a teacher, as an administrator, to take a review of what the policies are, and this is your opportunity between the first and the second read to bring any questions, concerns, or thoughts that you have to the policy committee. The policy committee is Greg Larson, Ann Peterson, and myself, and we'll review the policies again the Wednesday before that meeting is posted, and it'd be an opportunity for you if you had questions or concerns. We've also pulled a lot of the policies of the 600s off and brought them into a work session to allow the administrative team to work collectively with the board to ensure that we are up to state statute and Minnesota rule. So the changes that are here in the first read are minor changes. They are not significant content changes to the district or to our practices, which is why we're bringing them as a first read.
I'll make a motion to approve the first reading of the following policies: 601, 602, 610, 614, 615, 619, and 624.
Motion by Ann, do we have a second?
Second that.
Second by Greg. Any discussion on the first reading of the policy listed? No further discussion, all those in favor of approving the first reading of the following policies listed signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same. First reading carries. Approve the first and second reading of the following policies. 605, alternative programs. 606, textbooks and educational materials. 607, organization of grade levels. 608, instructional services, special education. 609, religion. 611, homeschooling.
So just to remind, the reason we can bring a policy to the board for a first and second approval is that the only change in it is either we're updating it or it's Minnesota statute and rule. So there's no significant change to the content or we are bound by state statute. That's all.
I'll entertain a motion.
I'll move to approve the first and second reading of the following policies: 605, 606, 607, 608, 609, and 611.
Motion by Greg, do we have a second? Second by Mike. Have any discussion on the approval of the first and second reading of the policies listed? Further discussion, all those in favor of approving the first and second reading of the following policies as listed, signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same. Motion carries. Approve total loss of van and collection of residual value.
So we had a van that got totaled out this winter, and my recommendation is that we cash out on that van. I don't want to reinvest in a van and have students being transported in a van that was about $1,000 short of totaling out, if I remember correct. Mr. Martinez, anything to add?
That's exactly correct. The damages exceeded the book value. The van or the market price came at about $13,500. Damages were higher than that, so we're collecting anywhere between $12,000 to $11,000 if there are any other adjustments. The van is currently in possession of our insurance carrier until, as an administrative team, we pass the resolution and then collect the check.
Is there a plan for a replacement, or what?
I was just gonna bring that up. in
So
discussion,
we're currently analyzing the data to look at the need of replacement of the vehicle. The district has historically ran 5 vehicles, and so we are pulling data to look at how many days out of the year are we maxing out our vehicles, or is this a place where we can hold and put the money in a capital account into the piggy bank and see whether or not it's a piece that we need to replace. So at this point in time, we just want to close out the insurance component, and we're continuing to look at what the impact is if we would go down a vehicle.
How long has the district been without the use of the vehicle?
January, February? February.
Well, just a couple months.
Yep.
So it's been kind of hard to determine.
Spring will be the big determination with our spring sports, because they're smaller sports, and that's when we often have to use them. Also, the transportation of special education students. So just taking a look at what that looks like and how we can best use our resources.
I'll move to approve total loss of van and collection of residual value.
Motion by Greg. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
By Brittany. Yeah, the only thing I want to bring up is we could probably discuss that maybe in a budget meeting down the road with the replacement of the van, and maybe we'll have the data by then. Any other discussion? No further discussion. Approve the total loss of van and collection of residual value, signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same. Motion carries. Approve the 6th grade trip to Minneapolis, St. Paul in May.
We've got a 6th grade trip coming up. It's been going on for, I don't know, 112 years, or 30 some odd years, I want to say. You've got a copy of the 6th grade packet, just looking at the itinerary. Right here, leaving at 6 in the morning, kind of early, from the Viking Elementary on the 21st. Stop at Clearwater Plaza, load up on some donuts and fritters. Capitol tour when we first get down to the cities, and then we head over to the Science Museum. Omni Theater, or lunch, more exhibits, Omni Theater, little bit more time at the science exhibits, and then we head over to the Minnesota History Center. Finish up with dinner at Chuck E. Cheese, and then into the hotel, and then kids or girls have some time in the pool, and followed by the boys, and then Wednesday morning up and at it again, a tour of the U.S. Bank Stadium, lunch at the food court at Mall of America, some time at Nickelodeon, and then try and make our way back. by 7 o'clock that evening. So that pretty much wears out our sixth graders for the rest of the week, which is good. And then good way to send them off to the high school, so.
Dr. Richardson's, how many supervisors go with that?
Oh, I can't recall exactly how many we've got. There's about 6 or 7. So it's more than, it's a lower ratio than 10 to 1.
So, kind of during what I'll call the breakout sessions, are they each student assigned to a specific supervisor? I'm assuming?
Right. We'll have a list. Kim Gottenberg, one of the most organized people you'll meet. If you haven't had a chance to talk with her, she'll have it all laid out. I'll have a group of boys that I'll be with, and we'll all do that. And then when we get to Mall of America and Nickelodeon, we have the chaperones at the different exits just to make sure that the kids are staying Nickelodeon during that time. So, and they have a great time during that.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions?
I'll make a motion to approve the sixth grade trip to Minneapolis and Colony.
Motion by Ann to approve the sixth grade trip. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Britt. Any discussion on the sixth grade trip? Hearing no discussion, all those in favor of approving the sixth grade trip signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same. Sixth grade trip is approved. Administrative reports.
Oh, that's me again.
Stay standing.
Get my exercise. We're at our enrollment right now. We're at 440 preschool. We've got 71 preschoolers and 36 Head Start. Some celebrations. Again, just going back on the IXL, so matching up with our school-wide WIG, which we'll get to in a second. But Mrs. Magnar's class, they've achieved excellence in 800 third grade math skills and answered 45,000 questions through IXL. Mrs. Schustrom's first grade class, excellence in 500 math skills and answered 25,000 questions. Mrs. Nelson's fourth grade class answered 55,000 questions and excellence in 1,050 fourth grade math skills. Mrs. Eisman's fourth grade class, excellence in 1,000 fourth grade math skills and 50,000 math questions. I'm going to ask for a total here at the end, so I hope you're keeping track in your head. Mrs. Larson's fifth grade class, 500 fifth grade math skills and 5 seventh grade math skills. Mr. Severson's third grade class, 95,000 questions answered. Excellence in 1,650 third grade math skills. Ms. Gano's third grade class, 950 math skills with 85,000 questions answered. Second grade, 20,000 questions answered, and excellence in 300 skills. Ms. Johnston, 600 math skills and 30,000 questions answered. Mrs. Etter's first grade class, excellence in 250 math skills. Mrs. Gottenberg, and that's all of sixth grade, 1,550 sixth grade math skills and 125,000 questions answered. You've got Mrs. Coleman's fourth grade class, 700 math skills, and Ms. Howard's second grade class, 20,000 questions answered. That's a mouthful. So that's just some pretty cool stuff. Again, that's not all of the math they're doing. Some of that is at home, some of that's during their free time. They'll do that sometimes if they've got some time to work on their iPad, work on that, or daily, during the Math Daily 3. Curriculum and instruction, our access is completed. Today we began our reading MCAs. Next Monday or next Tuesday we'll have our math will begin, and then on the 30th, fifth grade will begin science. So far this is the first time we've used iPads for MCAs, and the response was great today. It worked out really well. It went well, is what I've heard. Our school-wide WIG, DVS, will master 15,000 math skills from September 4th to May 4th, as demonstrated by IXL. And I've got an update from out there. As of this morning, we were at 13,487 math skills mastered, with 12 students, part of the Century Club meeting. They have mastered, we've got 12 students that mastered 100 or more math skills on IXL, which is pretty awesome. Big rocks, and a few of these dates, these are just some things that have happened in May. On the 4th, we had 5th grade went to Shine Circus, staff makeup day on the 8th. The 9th, our kindergarten first graders went to see Dragons Love Tacos, and I guess they really did. That's a story I heard from the kids. On the 15th, we had school in session, that's today, and our MCA reading. On the 17th, we'll have Tier 2 collaboration in mid-trimester 3 already. 18th, our 4-H after-school program in the art room. On the 19th, no school. On the 23rd, math, MCA math. 24th, we've rescheduled our Tier 2 collaboration. We've also got Administrative Professionals Day, our Secretary's Day, on the 24th. Science beginning, May 1st, Tier 2 collaboration. May 8th, we didn't have those on there, but May 8th is our DARE graduation at 1:30 in our gym. And the 15th will be 4 through 6 collaboration. I need a rest after that. Any questions?
Did we just have kindergarten roundup?
Yes.
Do you know how many kids we have for next year?
We were looking at around 60s. So it just depends on how many applications come back and all that. But the kindergarten roundup went really well. We had a good crowd. What we did this year, we did something a little different. Students went down with the teachers, all the kindergarten teachers. We also have our sort of roundup for our preschool and Head Start as well. So the parents and students went with them. Kindergartners went with kindergarten teachers, and that gave me the opportunity to work with and talk to our kindergarten parents. So it was much calmer. Parents were able to kind of listen to me, and then we got them down, and so they were able to take a look at those kindergarten classrooms. So, all right.
Thank you. Brian?
Enrollment at the high school at the end of April, we're at 411 students. Start out the school year with 410. MHS, Minnesota Honor Society, sponsored the blood drive on March 6th. Great participation there. PLCs this Wednesday will be our last one for staff. That'll be at 7:05 a.m. where they'll share formative assessment, teacher observation, their reading goal, and personal goal at that meeting. So we have a lot to do before school starts that morning. SAD speaker, SAD will be hosting 2 speakers, one on April 23rd, topic is vaping. Next one on May 3rd, that one's making good choices. We had a reading contest in during third quarter English department. This is not on the high school report. They had how many pages can you read? So the contest between each grade. In 6th place was 12th grade, and 5th place was 11th grade. 4th place was 10th grade. 3rd place was 9th grade. 2nd place was 8th grade. 1st place was 7th grade. So, reverse order, I guess. So it was kind of interesting though. It was just good to encourage reading and have a little contest. The winning grade got ice cream social. So they were served ice cream. So a little fun contest during 3rd quarter. Testing at the high school. We right now have MCA Math 7. We're just, since we missed last Friday, we're finishing up this week here with Math 11. Some of the students are finishing up. This week will be MCA Math 7, and then we'll have Science 8, Science 10, and then we'll finish out in May with AP, Calc and AP Music. Upcoming events, 26th of April is mid-quarter. On May 4th is prom. May 3rd, we're having the Golden Years prom on May 3rd in the afternoon. So it's always fun to invite the community to come and dance. May 9th is the band concert. That'll be at 7:30. And then the choir concert will be on May 20th. That will be at 7 p.m. And then May 23rd will be the last day of school. Teacher workshop on May 24th. Graduation at 7 p.m. So next meeting, I'll ask you who will, if you just let me know the next board meeting, if you'll be attending graduation. And then so either that night, I'll kind of show you what we'll do for the process of graduation night, or I'll do it the night of graduation. And last, I'd like to thank Len Thompson, Bob Kohler, Sean Gravelin for their years of service at PRHS. We have appreciated their time and efforts here working with our kids and staff. Thank you.
Thanks, Brad. Derek?
First of all, I want to congratulate Zane and Colm. They won an Emmy on Friday night down in the cities. They were nominated. Them and the whole newscast, they were not able to go down because of weather, but they had a gathering party at Fitzsimmons, and they watched it, and congratulations those two on winning that. And they also won that grant, the whole class. So congratulations, Miss Anderson, and her class. Speech, we had 3 individuals advance to the section speech. Rachel Goomer, Tori Stephenson, Kirby Nelson. Rachel got 6th and Kirby was 5th. Our spring sports numbers are listed. We're our 6th week of being inside the gym. We've had 1 spring activity so far, and we froze at that. Had my winter coat, stocking hat, gloves, and went to the pickup about 3rd inning to warm up a little bit because I was absolutely froze just standing there. So can't imagine the girls have been playing. So hopefully after Easter break here we can get outside and start doing some things. Every 2 years, Minnesota High School League redoes the classes. And it came out, so we got moved a few classes. So Class A for volleyball, cross country, soccer, wrestling, dance, track, softball, boys golf, and AA for football, both boys and girls basketball, baseball, and girls golf. Where we're at for those. So, any questions?
Can you explain that a little bit? How can like boys golf and don't they go by our school overall?
They do, but their cutoff is different for different sports, depending on the enrollment. So for example, the cutoff for boys golf is 214. The cutoff for girls golf was 208. We were at 209. So we were 1 girl over, so that puts us in AA for golf. So
Does free and reduced not come into play with that?
it does, yep. So
Do those numbers always stay the same, or do they, every 2 years when they look at the classes, do they change those numbers?
they try to move those numbers depending on how many teams are in each class. There are more classes in 2A the coming years than there have been in the past years. So they did not adjust the numbers well enough. So it seems weird, boys golf would be A, but girls golf is 2A. Softball's A, baseball's 2A, you know. So, thank you.
Thanks, Derek. Trevor?
Once again, want to thank Len Thompson, high school legal custodian, for his years of service, valued employee. On the 8th, we had a staff development for all staff, certified and non-certified. We had what's called ALICE training. It was put on by the Ottertail County Sheriff's Department. Reed Reibold, who's chief deputy, is trained in that. Had a lot of very positive feedback from the staff that participated in it. We had about an hour and a half of kind of classroom sit down, what it's about in the auditorium, and then we did 3 drills in the classrooms, and we did some drills in the commons area. And it's kind of really gets you thinking, really gets you, you're out there of what you're going to do in situations. They did a very nice job, and we'll be expanding on that, with the rest of the school. But like I say, all the staff that had to make up that day because of the cold days, I guess, were there. So we touched a lot of people. Then coming up in the May meeting, we're going to be looking for at our summer LTFM to get approved by you guys, and our buildings and district summer work that will be coming up. So putting the final touches on that, and like I said, just wanting to get those athletes outside. There's a lot of people in the building all day, so, anybody have any questions? Okay, thank you.
Thanks. Rudy?
I'll speak slower this time. From the last one, my wife said, "Are you trying to wrap up there? Nobody could understand you." I will, go slow and articulate a little bit better. So we'll start at the top. This month or at the end of March, our investments account, and I broke it down just in a little bit so people could understand a little bit better. So we began our investment account with $668,000. We received state aid, just a little over $1 million. And then we had to withdraw about $1 million to make sure that we paid all of our debts for the recurring month. Where you see adjustments on the column there for about $1,600, that is the credit card payment that we pay monthly. So at the end, we had an end balance in our investment accounts of $648,000. Right now, we're past the dry period, so you're going to see our investments account slowly start to go up again in value. And then we try to maximize as much as we can and gain as much interest as we can from here until next February when our next bond payment is due. Okay. Then we have our associated OPEB trust. Again, that is the OPEB trust that we use to pay a lot of our retirees. You can see that the investment grew by $166, so we'll take anything, so which is good. So total investments at the end of March were $873,000. Then we go into the middle P section. This is our the majority of our cash flow and how it moves from fund to fund. So on your left-hand side, you have general, food, community, ed, construction, debt service, and trust. Those are all the operating funds that we have under our book, you could say. So you can see how it fluctuates, and I'm just going to focus on the total column cash because that really is what highlights all the movement. So last month I made the statement that in theory, if all of our checks would have been cashed in one moment, our bank account would have been overdrawn by $138,000. Now, as a business manager, we don't let that happen because we have substantial money in our investments account to pull and meet our obligations. So what you can see is we started our balance in the hole with negative 138. We pulled the $1 million from our investment accounts, and all the little monetary values you see, like 9,000, 9,000, and 4,000. Those are deposits that come in, whether it's through food service, parents paying for lunch. The one that you see for the trust is scholarships that come in, and activities. The $9,000 is parents either paying for kids. No, I'm sorry. That particular one is coaches fundraising for our Fund 24. So all of our student activity accounts under Fund 24. Accounts payable at the end of the month, we paid bills of $573,000. Our payroll costs were $389,000. Adjustments, what you see there at the end, those are the journal entries that we do to make sure that our books balance at the end of the month. So in theory, at the end of the month, in terms of cash flow, our balance in our checking account should be negative $13,000. Again, we don't let that happen because we have substantial money in our investments to pull and cover that. And that's what we do. Before we print checks, we make sure that we have substantial cash on hand. The other two residual accounts that you see there at the bottom is petty cash, or Wells Fargo again. We're still in transition to move them over to Minnesota National. We're still in the process with everything going on. That kind of took a little bit of a back step, but you can kind of see the balances and how it fluctuates. Does anybody have any questions before I move on to the next page? This page simply highlights that we have our bank has substantial collateral to make sure that our bank account is covered in any point of bank failure. So this is just to say, yep, Minnesota National has a very good insurance in place. Then we'll go to the next page. These are all the journal entries that we do throughout the month, whether it's to correct something that we miscoded or to correct at the end of the month to make sure that our books balance. I talked about the adjustment column there in the middle section of our report. A lot of it is this. This month, one of the things that we did as we went through is, I'll point out one, so the very first one, at the very first journal entry, so you can see it there. You'll see that it tells you the journal entry number, the period, the date, and then I like to put my name on the one where you see reference, just so it's transparent, so you know that I was the one that made the journal entry. And essentially what you read in the description is we try to be as descriptive as possible for ourselves and for our auditors so they know why we made that particular journal entry. So I'll just go into detail on the very first one. The very first one is the DARE program. So we have a DARE in our student activity account in Fund 24. Essentially what happened is every time there is, my understanding is, every time there is a court case that involves some type of a drug-related case at the county level, and the state wins, there is some residual monetary value. What the county then does, it sends it to the state of Minnesota. The state of Minnesota then distributes it to MDE. MDE determines all the different schools in our counties that have a DARE program, and then they send that money out. So we get DARE funds through our Minnesota aid report. So essentially what I did was, we got the report and then we got that revenue in, and that's where you see the journal entry, because it comes in as miscellaneous revenue, but really it's entitlement for the DARE program. So that's what the journal entry highlights. And if anybody has any questions about all the other journal entries, like I said, we have backup documentation for everything. All right, and then we'll go a couple more pages. And then at the very, starting right here, this is gonna go all of the payables that total about $576,000. You're gonna see the different types of payments that hit our bank account, and they're classified either by wire or by check. And then you can see who is the vendor that we paid, if we printed a check, and you know that we printed a check because you'll see the column starting right here. So anything that starts with the 8,500, that's a check. Right now, all those checks that you guys will approve are actually sitting in my office. So as soon as you guys say approve, I put them in an envelope and then we shoot them off. And if you guys have any questions regarding the dollar value behind it or what the invoice is, let me know. Like I said, I have a pile of bills in my office if you guys would like to see them. Again, we want to offer transparency and assurance that we are managing our money and our finances as best as possible. That is the treasurer's reports. I hope I gave a calm and not speedy report. Thank you.
Thank you, Ruby. Randy, you're up.
Thank you. We have a couple of things. We have a strategic planning profile of the graduate Wednesday night at 7 o'clock. Excited to continue to move that forward from the work last year. We identified the traits and the values that we wanted that profile of the graduate of 2036 to have. We're taking a look at our mission and vision. It's up on the website for you to put input in, and then we will finish up with beliefs on Wednesday. Then we'll take a quick look at our data analysis of where we are as a district in relationship to the world's best workforce, and we'll start to set long-range goals for the future. Another piece, the marketing committee, we had moving forward last year, it's kind of hit the back burner. We're going to be bringing that back forward to start looking at how do we champion the positive things that are happening inside of Pelican Rapids, and to get that out and moving forward. And then lastly, I'm happy to say that we have 2 individuals who are working through our daycare grant that we got. So hopefully adding 2 individuals to the workforce in Pelican Rapids to be able to provide daycare for our community kids. So I'm excited about that. And the last piece, it was brought to my awareness that the board would like to have a conversation around MSBA Phase 4 training. So bringing that to the table for you to have a conversation and to guide me if you want me to bring it in internally into the district, or if you want to sign up as individuals, but how you would like to proceed.
What is phase 4?
So phase 4 is really the community component and how to market yourself as a school board and as a district, and what are the things that you can and what are the things that you cannot do. So I really see it as an opportunity for professional growth as board members as you think about and have conversations about possibly going out for an operating referendum. think it's important that you're all on the same page and have the same understanding about what can and cannot be communicated out into the community. Really, how do you get that positive message out? And I don't know, Ann or Brenda, you guys attended phase 3. If there's anything that you'd like to add to that?
I went to 4 last year, I thought it was really good, and would encourage that everybody does do it, if possible, and I would do it again.
I think it would just give us an opportunity to find ways to get out and communicate with the community more. Not just because there's something possibly coming down the road, but just overall, anytime. I think we need to be more involved with the community and let them know what's going on here more. I mean, celebrate our positives and just get them more involved, and I think it would be a good opportunity for all of us to learn some ways to get out there and do that.
What sort of timing is on that?
So the phase 4 is scheduled, and I don't, Barb, I'm gonna look to you, I didn't look the dates up. I think it's May, but the other option is to bring them into the district, and then we can basically pick the day, Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
You know, I recall with phase 3, I thought, you know, if all of us had attended, it would have been less expensive
Correct.
for them to come here. Would that same logic apply to phase 4, or is it hard to know yet?
Phase 4 is a little different, because phase 3 can be offered by one MSBA member, phase 4 is 2. And so technically, you're looking at a little bit higher cost of bringing phase 4 in than if each one of you went individually to an already established phase. But not significantly higher, and when you think about the opportunity to come together as a board and have conversations about just Pelican Rapids, it offsets. And you can select your dates to ensure that everybody can be there, which I think is a huge win for the district also.
This is the day.
I believe there's only 2 statewide that are left to be offered, and I don't believe either one of them are very close to us at all.
There's one remaining in Maple Grove, Wednesday the 24th of April.
Just attending phase 3, there was only, I expected a room like phase 2 where there was probably like 100 or so people in there. We walked into phase 3, there's 16 people in there, 2 instructors. That was a great opportunity to meet with the other schools and things like that as well. Just in a smaller, get a lot more out of it.
We have until the 18th for advanced registration, it looks like. If you're interested, on the 24th, which is a Wednesday.
So we have to work on scheduling.
Anything this spring, summer's gonna be pretty difficult for me. January's great.
My May is pretty much booked every weekend.
Send out a doodle poll
I can.
for time of the year. Okay. And maybe we can open up to maybe a few other districts around us, or is it just solely for us?
No, you can,
Help
I
spread
mean,
the cost.
we've got a superintendent's meeting on Wednesday, I can check to see if other districts would be interested in it,
Okay.
having one here at Lake Region or something, and offset the cost. The cost is a flat fee, for each individual, I just can't remember how much they
Oh.
charge per day, so if we can split it between 3 districts or 4 districts just in the Lake Region area, I'm sure it would help offset the cost. I can ask the question and then I'll send out a doodle poll later, probably on the Friday memo.
Okay.
That's it.
Anything else? Upcoming upcoming meetings, May 1st, we have a work session at 6 PM. May 15th, policy committee meeting at 4:45 PM. May 20th at 6:30 PM, regular board meeting. June 5th, 6 PM, work session. June 12th at 5 PM, a policy committee meeting, and June 17th at 6:30 PM is a regular board meeting. And I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll move to adjourn.
Greg moves to adjourn, do we have a second?
Sure.
Ann seconds? Okay. Any discussion on adjournment? Those in favor of adjourning signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, we're adjourned.